Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here with Holly again, and we are doing a tier list for Heartstopper Season 2.
Which is going to be, I think, very different than season one.
Oh, yeah, I do too. I do too. Also, if you watched our Red, White, and Royal Blue tier list yesterday, I made that one. Like, I made that tier list myself because I didn't already have one. This one was pre-made, so who's on there is who's on there, and whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm kind of
So,
sad
all right.
about the missing Siotis and Christian just because I like them, even though they're very minor, but it's fine.
Yeah, and I don't know why. And like honestly, I didn't look too hard for a tier list. I was just like because I could only find one of the Heartstopper season 2.
Yeah.
There was one that was both seasons combined, but we already did season 1. So.
Yeah, we don't need to do that.
Exactly. All right. So anyway, this is our Heartstopper season 2 tier list. If you have not watched season 2 or season 1 of Heartstopper, this will have spoilers.
Yep.
We
Lots
will
of
be spoiling plot
spoilers.
points, characters,
Character
things that
developments.
we will be spoiling the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Both book and comic.
Because we will be discussing, this one won't be the same as the Red, White, and Royal Blue one where we discuss it beforehand because we're not comparing it to the books.
Yeah.
So this is just going to be us discussing each character and each thing individually.
Exactly. But we will make reference probably to both the book or the comic and the movie.
Yeah, because there are definitely differences.
I mean, the TV show. Just because we've read both, or we've seen Red, whatever. Anyway, so I guess let's get into it.
Okay, so starting with Nellie.
Obviously, Nellie goes top tier.
Obviously.
She is such a good dog. It's kind of weird that she's in this tier list.
Because you can't leave out Nellie. How could you leave out Nellie?
I mean, I suppose that's true.
Okay, I have to do something real quick. I don't know why Charlie is last, but I'm putting him directly after Nick.
Oh, yeah, me too. Because what the heck? Yeah. Why would you not put Nick and Charlie right next to each other?
Okay. So Nick, obviously, top tier.
Okay. Nick Nelson, top tier. I love Nick. He's such a good guy.
She's such a good dog. He's such a good guy.
Exactly. My opinion is the same for both.
Feelings on him this season?
I like Nick this season. I think Nick is a lot more like
fleshed out.
Yeah, fleshed out. That's a good way to put it. I like the fact that he clocked Charlie and his eating.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah, he did.
And I'm glad that they didn't leave that out. I was worried that they were just going to spring it on us in season 3 like it was out of nowhere.
Yeah, they really, I figured they wouldn't just because they did such a good job subtly putting it into season 1.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Like they made it
so I'm glad.
An unannounced plot point in season 1 that you don't notice unless you notice. Like unless you know, you know?
Exactly, unless you know what you're looking for.
But I also like that they kind of made you understand why he's such a people pleaser.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the whole dad thing was really really well done.
Yeah, like you could see every time his dad, like, because I never clocked Nick as like a super rugby guy. Like he enjoys playing it, but like he's not like super into it. Like it's so important to him, but I feel like it kind of shows that like part of the reason why he holds on to that is because that's like the thing that he bonds with his dad about.
Exactly. That's the only thing.
Like, and that's why, because that's part of why they make him like the popular guy is because he plays rugby and he's good looking and he's nice. And but like he never really fit into that world, and that kind of shows why he's part of that world, even though he doesn't really fit into it.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. And also, I kind of liked it in the book. They kind of do this thing with his character where like on the surface he comes off kind of himbo, especially in the book.
Yes, he does.
But like he is also like he's not, and you can tell when you see like his character in the show and stuff, especially.
Yeah, because like they literally show him like acing all of his classes even though he's distracted by Charlie.
Yeah.
Whereas Charlie's failing everything, even though
because he's
distracting each other.
Yeah. Well, and like they also have him just like out of nowhere say these like deep, meaningful things, and it's like, okay.
Yes. they show that he's not just an idiot.
Yeah. Now, should we go on to Charlie?
Yes.
Obviously. And I'm putting him before Nick because he is my favorite character.
Yeah, I guess I should put him. Well, I don't know. Yeah, yeah, I do like Charlie more.
Yeah.
No offense, Nick.
Well, and
I love Charlie. I want to give Charlie a hug and make him
yeah,
feel better.
he is, and I get that. Like, I feel like, oh, like, okay, I'm gonna say this in a way that doesn't come off as like offensive. Like, I get why people are like so into like Kit Connor and Nick and all of that stuff. He's got like that vibe going on, and
Mhm.
he's great, and he's like funny, and he's a good guy and everything. But Charlie or
Mhm.
Charlie slash Joe, he's baby. Like, he's just like so sweet. I love
Yeah.
him so much, and I feel like he's such an underrated. Like, everybody's always like, "Oh, Nick's like the perfect boyfriend. Everybody wants a Nick Nelson," but like nobody points out the fact that Charlie is so sweet and patient and like understanding.
He never pushed Nick to come out.
Never once, even when he was like so like
Never.
wanted him to so bad, he never ever showed that to him. Like, the audience saw it, but he never showed it to Nick
Right, exactly.
because he did not want to guilt trip him. He was like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be that person.
Yes.
Yeah. And also, they definitely added more depth to him this season too.
Yes. So much.
Oh my god.
Like, and the way you can just like see him, like, I don't know how to describe it. The pain, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. But like, so like, you can, it's that so realistic thing where it's like the happy sunshiny person who's trying to make everybody else happy, who's like in the most
Exactly.
pain
Like, being
themselves.
eaten up. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And you only see it in like their private moments, which like you see
Yes.
as the audience.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. They just I feel like they did a really, really good job.
And the
with
way that like even his friends don't really notice these things about him, but like Nick does.
Yes.
And like,
but Nick does. Exactly. He picks up on it.
well, and the fact that he gains so much confidence in this season
Yes.
and he like stands up for himself and like everything's so much more
Yes.
is wonderful because
Yeah, I
it's
really, really liked the way
really
they did
satisfying. They made him so much more like, because he always had like that like sassy like kind of underlying confidence about him, but he didn't like show it outwardly that much.
it. Yeah,
And, like,
exactly.
so I like
Ouch.
that they're like adding more of that to his personality in this season.
Me too.
Isaac.
Isaac is going tier 2.
Yep, that's where I put him too.
I really like Isaac.
I really like Isaac too.
Like, I really like the way they're doing his whole asexual storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where he doesn't fully understand until somebody says it to him.
Yeah, yep. Until he like is pointed out that that is a thing that other people experience.
Well, because here's the thing, not to get too overly personal, but shortly after my divorce, I was talking to Salem about how basically every relationship I've ever been in, besides maybe one or two, has been because my friends or somebody else has like pushed me to date somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And Salem was like, "Are you asexual or aromantic?" And I was like, "What?" And then once I started researching it, I was like, "Oh, maybe a tiny bit aromantic."
Yeah,
Because
that's
I
very
have
possible.
zero interest in relationships and never have.
Yeah, that's the funny thing
Unless somebody approaches me and is like, let's eat. Like now, if somebody approaches me and is like, let's date, I'll punch them. But like, even when I was a teenager, I had no interest in dating until my friends pushed me for my first boyfriend because they kept insisting that if I did not date someone, I must be a lesbian.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
And I knew that I wasn't attracted to girls in any way, shape, or form. So
that's the thing that I've always noticed about you, though, is like, it's not like you're like cold or heartless or anything, but you just like, if something isn't
Don't
like, if a relationship
care
is,
about
yeah, if a relationship isn't like doing what it needs to do for you in that moment, well, I just meant like doing what it needs to, then you don't have a problem with just being like, okay, yeah, I'm done with this. Like, you're just like, fine. You're just like, I don't really need this, so why is it here?
It wasn't until Salem said it that I started like actually researching it, because I always thought that aromantic and asexual just meant you don't want to date, you don't like sex at all.
Oh, yeah. Nope.
And then once I like researched it, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, well, and it was like just not a thing that like, it's just not a thing that people even consider 90% of the time, because it's the default to be like,
well, and I didn't realize that there was such a spectrum of it, that like you can, you know, have relationships, but you're not you're not like, like, because you know how we grew up, everything was kind of cut and dry. You're this or you're that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then yeah, and so that's the whole Isaac thing, like where suddenly it was like, oh, wait a minute,
Well,
this
and
actually makes sense. Like
that's the
I
thing.
fully understood that.
Yeah, because that's the thing is like you can see in it that like Isaac feels a connection with James. Like he feels like he
Mhm.
wants to be around him and he wants to hang out with him and like he's got like a little bit of that like not attraction to him necessarily, but just like a I like being around this person. But
Yes,
he's not
exactly.
like I want to like be with this person. This person
Yeah,
is
he's
like
watching
so
all the
much for me.
couples around him who are so deeply obsessed and in love, and he's
Yeah,
like,
and he's just kind of
I'm
like
not feeling any of that.
yeah, he's like I
Yes,
like
that's
this guy. Like
exactly
he's
how
cool to
I've
be
always been,
around.
where I'm like, okay, why are you so obsessed with this person? Like, I don't care. Like, even when
Yeah.
I was married, you saw it. Bob could leave for a month, and I was just like, see ya.
Yeah,
And
right.
like that was even before he was a horrible person.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it did not, like, people are always like, I just can't believe you don't care if he leaves for a whole week. And I'm like, I mean, that's fine. He'll be
Yeah,
back.
like not a big deal. Yeah, and
Whereas other people freak the fuck out.
I feel like with and like I haven't done a ton of research on it myself, but I feel like it's kind of like yeah, like there's a person who you do kind of feel like slightly more than like this is just my friend, you know, like you
Yes,
kind of feel that,
exactly.
but it's not like this whole like big sweeping like oh, you know, like
Yeah,
yeah. It's just kind of like
exactly.
oh yeah, you're fine. I could spend time with you. I could be with you, I guess. Like cool, you know.
Yeah, we can hang out. That's cool.
Yeah.
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 It's so I definitely felt Isaac in that moment where I was like, yep. Sometimes it's just a throwaway comment from your kid, and you're like, oh damn.
Where you're like, "Oh, wait, something just clicked."
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
even in the moment, I was like, no, of course not. And then later on, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Well, and I thought it was so cute, like that. I really liked the fact that he on the bus, like to Paris or whatever, he like asked
Mhm.
Charlie, like, so like, how did you know? Like, how did you know you were attracted to Nick?
Yes.
And Charlie doesn't like make it weird or be like, what do you mean? Like, how did
Yeah.
I know? He's just like, oh, I felt like this, and like this. And then Isaac's
Yeah,
just like,
exactly. He describes it to him.
yeah. And Isaac's just like, okay. And you can see his head be like, okay, I don't
Yeah,
feel
like
those
I've
things.
never had that
So
feeling in my life. I don't understand that.
yeah, but
Like,
then he doesn't like get probed any farther. It's just like, here's the explanation that you need.
yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does not say, why are you asking? Who are you into? Like, nothing.
Yeah, it's like a really slow, it's like a slow him putting all of these little pieces
Slowly
together.
coming to the realization. Yes, it's so well done. Like,
Yeah.
so well done.
Well, and the way that they tie that into like I kind of always bothered me that he was like barely in existence in the first season,
Mm-hmm.
but it also
Yeah,
kind of
like,
makes
why
sense
even make
because
him in there if he's not gonna?
but it kind of makes sense because that's kind of how it is in real life when like your friends start
Yes.
coupling up. Like the one person
Uh-huh.
who isn't coupled up kind of gets pushed into the background and kind of
Yes,
just like
exactly.
and so
Yes,
they
and
showed that
they
and
just
like
did it so well.
yeah, they showed it in television form and that's really really good. It's really like symbolic.
Mhm. Yes, I really feel like they did an amazing job with that particular storyline.
And also the fact that he still gets so excited for his friends at the same time. Like when something something is exciting for them. Like when everybody's just making out around him, he's like, "Yeah, I don't get this. This is kind of annoying." But when like
Mhm.
their friend, like when his friend is like really excited about something, like Tao with Elle, he's like equally like, "Yeah," you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It also really, really, really changes the whole "I want to believe in romance" line.
Uh-huh.
Because he's like,
That
I
is
want to
true.
believe in this because I don't feel this, so I want to hear that it's real.
Yes, exactly. Like, in my brain, this is not how this goes. So please,
Show me
you know,
this.
ma-
Yeah.
yeah.
Aw, I love it.
Oh, so well done. So well done.
All right, so let's see. Sahar. I'm putting her in third tier.
Yeah, I mean, she's fine. She's just not really.
She's not doesn't do much.
Yeah, she's not really all that. I don't want to say not important because everybody's important, but she's not really, you know.
Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. And I'm not no shade to like this actress. Like I don't have anything against this actress or the way she played the character at all. Except that in the books, I feel like Sahar has like kind of more of a bubbly personality. And she's
Yeah,
kind of like
and she's
more
just kind of there.
and like I know that they're gonna do the whole her and Imogen thing and she's gonna be more of a part later. like
Yeah,
in the next
but
season.
they didn't really give us that. They hinted it, so I'm sure that by next season, when we do our season 3 tier list, we'll like her more.
I'm
But
sure, but here's the problem. The one little problem that I have, and I rarely have criticisms too much about this show, but I feel like, and every time they showed her and Imogen together, she almost kind of seemed more annoyed with Imogen than anything.
yeah, they didn't like they definitely hinted that they were, maybe Imogen will just have a crush, but she won't actually.
Maybe something
Maybe,
won't actually happen. Yeah.
yeah, maybe it'll just be like her awakening or whatever.
Yeah, and then Sahara's like, sorry, I'm not really into it. But she's just like, okay, well
Yeah.
then can you help me figure this out anyway? Like, basically
Yeah.
be my bisexual mentor. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
although I think that would be more Nick's job since they're like besties, but I don't know. We're skipping ahead because I don't want to talk about Imogen yet, but
Right.
okay. James.
James
I'm putting him in second tier.
is mm, yeah, he gets second tier, but he's going behind Isaac.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's gone behind Isaac, yeah. Yeah, I just found his character adorable.
Yeah, they really did. He was pretty cute.
He was like sweet and giddy and like
Yeah, I like that they gave him just like a nice little bubbly, happy.
yeah, kind of awkward, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He's very, very sweet, and I really hope that he gets a good storyline.
Yeah, I hope that in the third season, like maybe Isaac explains to him how he's
Yes,
feeling,
exactly,
and
and
they're
he
just
can
like
get
best
it.
friends, and
Yeah, and they can kind of.
yeah, because I definitely
Yeah.
want to see more
Well,
of him.
because you can be asexual and still want to be in relationships. It's just harder for you to.
That's true.
Get
They
there.
also could
they
end
could
up forming a
easily-
relationship.
Yeah, they could easily still have a relationship. It would just take a lot longer to get to it.
Yeah. And it would be like more talking about like this is what I'm feeling and this is what I'm not really feeling in this situation.
Exactly.
And I like that, like, because obviously what his role was in the book. Like,
Yeah.
he was just in the truth or dare scene, and that was it.
Exactly. He wasn't really important at all in the book.
Yeah, and
So
I like that,
like that they were giving him
a point, his character a point.
Yeah.
Well, and I like that they kind of mentioned that he used to have a crush on Charlie.
Yes.
Because like in
I
the
do
book,
like that a lot.
he's clearly like into the idea of like
exactly. I do like that they kind of gave it that little nod to it.
Yeah, they didn't completely take away the whole.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, no, we're still gonna give you your little tiny moment, but
because apparently Charlie just collects all of the guys.
He really does. He's just so adorable.
Even Tao seemed kind of into the idea of kissing him.
Seriously, Tao liked that.
He really did. Even Nick liked that.
I know, it's so weird. It's such a weird scene to even have.
I think that was Kit's genuine reaction, though, to seeing Will and Joe kiss.
I know, I really think it was.
I don't think that was even, like, acting.
Right. I know, because we know that there are parts where it was improvised, like the hair ruffling.
Yep. Which is also so adorable.
I know, it's so funny. He's so offended by it.
I like knowing when things are genuine.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Mr. Ajayi.
Okay, so I'm gonna put him in the third tier.
Are you?
Because I think that he's okay. I don't dislike him. I
can't articulate your feelings. See, I put him at the end of the second tier.
Well, because I'm gonna rant a lot about the next one.
Okay,
so
yeah, I know
this is
you
why
are.
he's going in the third tier instead of the second tier.
I'm putting Mr. Ajayi as a individual in the second tier because I like his attitude. I like him. I think he's kind of cute and like.
Yes, I do.
He's got like a little
like him,
cheeky personality.
But they don't give him enough.
Really? I think they gave him
put him in the second tier.
I think they gave him quite a bit this season. I mean, I also am considering.
No, I don't mean. I
know. They don't give him enough. Yeah. Well, see, and for me though, like I'm also kind of considering him for first season, so I want like first season him too. So I kind of want him here in the second tier because I love him.
I do like him.
Yeah.
That's why he's going the very front of tier 3. but
And
his storyline
we can move
did
on to
not
Mr.
get.
Farouk so that you can
Yeah,
rant.
this Mr. Farouk is the whole reason why we're not getting
I
tier
might
2.
actually, Mr. Farouk might actually go in 4th tier for me.
He is going in 4th tier. He is the whole reason that I made this tier. This tier is him. Even though this line wasn't meant for him, this is him. Because
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but they. Oh,
I'm ready to listen.
okay. Listen, no shade to the actor. I'm sure he's a wonderful actor. But he is the shittiest actor I've ever seen in this show. He's got the deadest eyes. He has zero personality. He looks
He's got serial killer eyes.
He does. He has serial killer eyes. He is not. This is not a sweet, cute love story between two teachers that happen to be on a field trip together and happen to have met because they're students and their schools and whatever the hell. This is a serial killer choosing his next victim. That is what this is. Nothing about them. They have no spark. They like in the book or the comic, they are cute.
They
have this cute little flirtation. They get together. We get to see them, occasionally a panel here or two where, here or there where we just know that they're in a relationship. It's great. Good for them. This is bad.
I have my own thoughts on this and I'll tell you when you're
They have no chemistry. They have no, they try, they really try, but, and I get that he's supposed to be the more stern one, but like, not like that.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my thing. So first off, I am mad because the actor, I sent you that interview with the two actors have so much chemistry. They're so cute. Like they could have really, really done well if they hadn't made Mr. Farouk. Because like I get he's supposed to be the more stern one, but like those moments where like he sets the sandwich down in front of Charlie and like smiles and fist bumps him, they could have given him a little more of that. They could have given him like
because every once in a while you can see a small glimmer of humanity from him.
Yeah, where like he's kind of adorable and you're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, but they didn't. Yeah. Instead, they decided to play him just like so straight 90% of the time. I don't mean straight as in,
Yeah, I got it. Right.
But like they decided to just like he could have had more moments where he was just kind of like smiles and like little bit of like, because the way that the two actors.
Even when the teachers are supposed to be flirting,
yeah,
he never looks happy.
He looks
like this is the worst time of his life.
Yeah, like, yeah, he really does.
Like he looks like me if somebody flirted with me. You know what I mean? Like he is just so not having it, and we're supposed to expect that those two are in love.
Yeah,
no.
And I think that what it's supposed to be in some of the parts is like he's kind of like being like really like standoffish and like shy about it, but it doesn't come off that way.
Yeah. You can do shy or you can do I hate you. And he hates him.
Yeah.
He hates him.
And it's so funny because Mr. Ajayi comes off so amused with how annoyed he is with him. And it's just like
I know. And like if they did a better job with the character and like at least gave him like a minute, it would be cute and funny and like, okay, this guy's so like serious and stoic and I just think this is so fun. But no, he looks like he wants to kill everyone around him.
He does.
And might
genuinely might do that. Well, and that's the thing too, is in the books he doesn't come off that way.
No, not at all.
In the books he's like kind of flirty as well. Like they could have done they could have done like the more stern stoic teacher without making that like making it everything he is.
Exactly, because you get to see him shut off the stern stoic teacher and be like this cute little funny flirty guy with his boyfriend.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Whereas
like when they're in the room alone together, he doesn't need to be like stoic stern teacher.
Exactly. Like go read the comic if you haven't already, guys, and watch the teachers. You're going to be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, you're going to be like, "Where's that Mr. Farouk and why did he get murdered and secretly replaced with this guy?" That's what really happened. He murdered the real Mr. Farouk and like took his spot.
Yeah. It's so upsetting. Like, oh, I hate it. It's so upsetting.
Yeah. Which is sad because again, the actor's adorable, and I'm gonna send you that interview, and you're gonna be like, where was
Please
this?
do, because I'm gonna be heartbroken, or maybe I'll like him a little bit more. Because right
Maybe.
now I hate it. Like I wanted to like that relationship because in the comics I thought it was so cute and I thought that it was a nice little sidebar that they had.
Well,
And
and
I just
you know that they're gonna have, yeah, like their little mini comics at the end and stuff.
yeah.
But like
Yes.
you know that they're gonna have more of him in the third season and like more building of their relationship.
And I
So
hope
maybe
he
they'll
watches
start
this
to
video.
well, maybe they'll start
Somebody
to like
send it to him.
maybe they'll explain that. Like
Maybe, but
maybe we'll have
I
a
don't
moment
want him
of
to
like,
explain it. I just want him to fix it.
well, there, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they'll like fix it and explain it and like they'll chip away at like that, you know, weird, creepy outer shell a little bit.
I hope so. Because yikes.
Yeah.
Like somebody needs to tell this guy it's okay.
I know, right? Okay. Okay, now Imogen.
Okay, you're gonna be shocked by this, but Imogen is going in tier 2.
Yay! For me too. I'm putting her actually
I
right before
really
James.
liked her this season. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, she is going before James, actually.
Not before Isaac, but definitely before James.
Yeah. I really liked the way that they gave her character an actual meaning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we knew 100% that she was going to date Ben.
Yeah.
Like you and I called it from the get-go.
We did, yeah. Because you could tell.
But I like the way they did it.
I like it too. And I like that they didn't make it like she fixed him or like.
No. And that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought they were going to suddenly like try to give him redemption and like.
I didn't, just because I knew Alice had said in interviews that she did not want Ben to have a redemption arc.
Oh, see, I didn't know that part. Okay.
Yeah.
See, then I wouldn't have worried about that.
But I did want to.
I didn't know though, because it was pleasantly surprising.
Well, I knew that he wouldn't get a redemption arc, but I didn't know that they were going to have Imogen like tell him off and like embarrass him in front of his friends. Beautiful. And like it was great. And the way that she like tells him his energy is off is one of my favorite lines.
Beautiful. That's what we should have made one of these tiers.
Yes, we really should have. Your energy is off.
We really should have.
Oh my God, we could totally make Why Are You in Mood With Me? Your energy is off, because holy Mr. Farouk, your energy is off.
You know what? We're changing that right now live
yeah,
on
I'm going to change it. Yeah, we're going to.
Yeah, that is going to be your energy is off. Yeah, it's your energy is off, because boy, is it ever. God.
It really is.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, I thought that they did a good job with her. They didn't make her like weirdly obsessed with Nick. They didn't try to like throw her in as a wrench for that. They just made them friends.
Yes.
They made her totally cool with everything.
Well, and they made her so like, they kept her as her and like made it so she did say stupid things, but it was like endearing.
Yes, exactly.
Like when she's like
even when Nick told her not to date Ben, she wasn't. She was like, I'm gonna do what I want. You can't tell me what to do. But she still remained his friend.
Yeah, she would like still wave at him and like be like,
exactly.
You know, like they still were fine, but she was like,
I liked when everything blew up. There was no I told you so. It was just, are you okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Which you know, obviously we know would be what Nick would do. He's not an I told you so kind of person, but
exactly. But no one, like everybody was just like,
oh yeah, everybody was like, are you okay?
Good for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and like, okay, one thing. I love that you could see, because like they didn't play it like Imogen had no idea about Nick and Charlie, because you could see that she did when they walked off the field. But you could see it like she didn't want to say anything. She was kind of like, if you have any romantic, and then just kind of like gave him a beat and was like, you want to say something?
Yeah, she gave him,
and then when he didn't, she was like, okay, moving on. Like,
yeah, exactly. She was like, this is your opportunity if you want. No, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, which I love it. It's so sweet. But like, and then she said like stupid things like, things would be easier if I was into girls, where you're just kind of like hand to forehead, like oh my God. But also, what straight woman hasn't said that?
So true.
Yeah, so
that's why I always say it's very clear that sexuality is not a choice.
Yeah,
because I would not choose men.
Wait, let's see. All right, on to David.
David sucks.
Obviously, bottom tier.
David's going in. You are a pathetic little man.
Because that line was to him and about him and perfect for him.
And it was him entirely.
He
sucks.
He sucks.
He's terrible.
And obviously, we knew we were going to hate him because books.
Yeah. I don't think he has any redeeming qualities at all.
No. Although Kit did say in an interview that he feels like that part where their dad was like, talk to me when you get back to Edinburgh, and he's like, Glasgow. Like, he said that in his mind,
Yeah.
that was a moment where Nick was like, oh, that's why my brother is the way he is. Like, I kind of get it now, you know, but still, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
And I know that line was on purpose, but like,
Well,
that doesn't excuse it.
no, it doesn't. And that is, I'm sorry, maybe that's, I know that not everybody's like this, and it's mostly just us as sisters because we're weird, apparently. But when there's shit going on with your parents, or like things that like make you, those are the times when you should like be there for each other and have to like
Exactly.
be like,
Yeah, you don't.
us against the world if our parents are gonna suck. Like, if a parent's gonna suck.
I know. That's what I always say to my kids is like, you guys need to, which I mean, you know, they do get along, but I always tell them, you guys need to be best friends with each other, because eventually you're only going to have each other to bitch about your crazy mom or your terrible dad or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's what I
Like-
tell my kids all the time too. Like, if they'll tattle on each other, I'm like, why do you want to get your sibling in trouble? I don't understand that like feeling. Like, you should be wanting to
You have to have their back.
Exactly. You should be like, oh, you did this thing wrong. Shit, I won't tell mom. How are we going to hide this? Like, I know that that's probably not something I should be
Right.
encouraging, but I do.
But it's
like,
true though. Like, how many times have we done that for each other? Like, no, I'm
Exactly.
not telling mom that.
you
Like,
guys
no, even
ingrained
now
into
as
me from a young
adults.
age. Don't be a narc. Stitches get stitches. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, I don't understand that mentality of like, don't be there for your sibling. Like,
Yeah.
it
Me neither.
feels
I
like it
just-
goes against nature.
It does. Like, that is your sibling, and you guys are supposed to like have each other's backs.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it works.
100%. Yeah, so fuck that guy, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoopsie.
He's
I
a
keep
terrible
accidentally
brother.
scrolling up. Okay, Nick's dad.
He is also a pathetic little man.
I'm putting him in your energy is off.
Oh, no.
I
Mm-mm.
think that the only thing that I think redeems him is that he told David off and he wasn't shitty about Charlie.
That is true. All right.
Like,
All right, fine. I guess I'll.
and I do want to see him, because he said he wants to be better, and I want to see him try to be better, and I'm giving him that hope.
Yeah, all right. I'll be kinder. I'll give him your energy is off too.
Yeah, because it's
I don't like the fact that he just blows off his kids like that.
and the
Like,
way, I know, when you see like the absolute pain in Nick's eyes when he just like is like, especially when he gets
but
that
it
phone
is
call and it's
true.
just
He
like, I
wasn't
gotta
shitty
go.
about Charlie.
Yeah, I feel like he's like not. That's the thing, is like, I don't feel like he's a terrible person, or like, I think he's just really self-involved, and
Yeah,
it makes him annoying and shitty, but not a terrible human being.
that is true. I'll give you that. I will give you that.
Okay, Tori,
Top tier.
top tier, 100%.
I love Tori so much.
I love her too. I'm putting her
Have you
before
read
Nellie. I'm so
Solitaire?
sorry, Nellie. Yes, I have. I love Solitaire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like I love that you see like more of her personality in this season.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I like seeing her interact with Nick.
Yep. Me too.
Like, she's the only person who can threaten Nick, and I'm not like, back the fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. 'Cause she's doing what David should be doing.
Exactly. And I think that Nick appreciates it.
Exactly.
He's like, oh, that's what a sibling is. Cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say he probably appreciates it even more so because he doesn't have that.
Exactly. I feel like they have such an understanding between them. Like, because Tori is obviously really protective, but when Nick walks in and is like, I made cupcakes, she's like, oh my, like, you can see in her face that she's like, that's the cutest
Mhm.
fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Right, exactly.
And her moment of kicking the phone out of David's hand, which I knew was coming because it's in the books, but it was
Yep,
so
but it's
satisfying to
still
see.
Amazing. It's so nice to see.
Although, did you clock a little bit of like, maybe it's just me and I read things weird, but I almost got the vibe that David was like, oh, that was hot.
Yeah, me too. And I was really worried about it.
I
I
was
was
too,
really
because
worried.
Michael-
Like, even though I've read Solitaire and I know, I was still really worried.
yeah, well, I think they could still make that a thing, just where like he has a crush on her, but obviously she's not going to reciprocate that. But I think it would be kind of funny
Right.
to throw in there.
It would be kind of funny.
Just as like a, you know, he tries and she completely shuts him down, and it's amazing. But yeah, totally off topic, but did you know that it's been confirmed that Michael Holden will be in next season?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Good, because he needs to be.
I know, and I'm so excited to see him
Me
and
too.
who they cast for him, and they better not pull a Farouk on him, because he has to be perfect.
If they do, I will cry.
You know, Alice doesn't normally miss on these things, so I'm not sure what
I know
happened.
she really messed with him. She really did.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that was just a fluke and she doesn't ever do it again. And
Yeah, because she didn't miss with anybody else.
no, everybody else is
Even
so
the people
spot
that
on.
aren't in the comics, she somehow managed to cast perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I did say Sahara was a little off, but I think that we'll get more of her real personality in the next season
Oh,
because
yeah,
she was just kind of
she's a little off, but that might just be her. I mean, that could be
yeah,
how she's meant to be.
yeah, it could be. Well, and I think also because you see her get like really excited when Ella's talking about kissing Tao,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see more of like the Sahara that like I expected in my head. But I think
Yeah.
maybe because most of the time when you see her, she's talking to Imogen. And I think
Yep.
because of that like stuff that they bring up in Truth or Dare, like the weird, like the friendship that kind of ended between them, I think
Yeah.
maybe that's why her energy seems kind of different.
Could be.
Because she's kind of like annoyed with Imogen and the way that Imogen apparently ditched her for some guy or something.
Right.
So maybe that could be it. Okay, Ben.
Ben is bottom tier.
Absolutely, Ben is bottom tier, no matter how many times he cries and apologizes.
Yep. The
What-
problem is Sebastian Croft does such a good job
He
as
does such a
Ben
good job.
that I almost wanted to feel bad for him.
No, see, I think that you can feel bad for him. Because I do feel bad for him. I think he's pathetic, and I feel a lot of.
Yeah, exactly.
I
You
feel
are a
pity
pathetic
for
little
him.
man.
Yeah, I feel pity for him. But I don't think that that excuses anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing is like he does such a good job with Ben, and like it's
He
so
does.
clear that Ben is like
Just
so
sad.
like lost and confused
Yeah.
that you want to feel bad for him, but he still sucks as a person in every way.
Well, here's the two things for me. One is part of that time when he's giving that little speech to Charlie, especially when he says, "You were something good."
Mm-hmm.
In my brain, he looked like Sebastian Croft in that moment. Because you don't see Ben give that cute little smile ever. That's not a Ben smile.
Right.
That was Bash. So like like when I saw that, that's what like almost made me break for him was I was like, "Oh." But then I remembered that it's Ben.
Exactly. Yeah, but then
But and like that was also like kind of a cute thing to say and kind of
Mhm.
unexpected
yeah,
because he never says nice things to Charlie.
exactly.
But then that whole speech is also, this is why this benefited me. This is why I wanted you for me to benefit me.
Yes.
And none of it was actually an apology for how he made him feel.
Exactly.
Also, also what Charlie said. I hope that you become a better person. I'd love for you to become a better person. I just don't care to see it.
Exactly. That line was just oh
So perfect. That whole and I love that they took that route of showing kids, listen, you can understand where this person who hurt you is coming from, but that does not mean you have to forgive them.
Now, you can even forgive them, but you don't have to
Keep them in your
accept them
lives.
back in your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you can say, okay, good for you. You go do better. Just do it away from me.
Yeah, exactly. Which is just, it's such a good message to send because normally you'd see them be like, oh, you know what? I get it. You're
They
struggling.
apologized. You have to forgive
Come
them.
join us in this gay art exhibit and embrace yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
but instead they were
exactly.
like,
And
no. And they
No.
made it like Ben almost was there and then he stepped away and he's gonna end up being that guy who gets married and has like a fake shallow marriage
Exactly.
where he's secretly yearning for guys, but like that seems like a Ben future. And it's realistic.
It really does. Yeah, he's gonna be a politician for sure.
Well, and if you read Solitaire, are they gonna, because I know that they said like Sebastian Croft was done for the show. And they aren't gonna put, I think that they're gonna have like, because it's starting to get to like the Solitaire point of the story.
Yeah.
So I think that like you're gonna kind of see Tori and Michael and see like weird little hints towards the book. But like obviously
too.
not the like but like in from Charlie and Nick's perspective, so it's not gonna be
Yep,
like the story.
like in the background.
Yeah. Or like they're gonna go to that like party where the firework thing happens.
Uh-huh.
But like you're not gonna see Tori's part of it. You're just gonna see them go away and be like, whoa, that was nuts. Or like, you know, whatever. Like
Exactly. They're gonna hint it.
yeah. Which I think will be cool. But
I do too.
but yeah, but Bash is in Solitaire. So I mean not Bash, Ben is in Solitaire. So
Yeah.
I don't know why he's now like leaving the show. Are they just gonna completely cut that out?
I mean, they might just because he's not wholly necessary.
True. You don't, and I don't think that anybody watching Heartstopper wants to see what happens in Solitaire happen.
That is true.
Because that would be traumatic.
It is, yeah.
Like, we said there would be Heartstopper spoilers, but I'm not going to give Solitaire spoilers. But
yeah, but like, go read it.
Yeah, because, yeah. That also makes you feel a lot less sympathy for Ben's little speech at the end there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Naomi.
I don't even know who that is.
Ella's friend from art school.
Oh yeah, I forgot about her.
She's fine.
Yeah, I guess we're okay with people knowing.
Yeah, that's where I put her too. Like, she's not a bad character. She's just kind of like a filler. She's just to show that Elle can have a life outside of Tau. Yeah, well, and she's going to be more in the next season because Elle's going to art school, so she's going to be like her friend at art school.
She's going to be important, I'm sure, but she's just kind of a filler right now.
Yeah, and Felix is even more so.
Yep.
So, although, you know what I did?
Yeah,
Felix. They will also be more in season 3 then.
Yeah, definitely.
This was just
and I'm sure
intro.
that they will both be higher on the list or possibly lower on the list, depending.
Yeah, maybe.
But right now they're just kind of there.
I did think it was kind of cute though, how like Naomi and Elle just kind of like instantly clicked and bonded because they got each other. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that was cute.
But it also wasn't. It also didn't feel that organic. To be honest.
Yeah, exactly. It was just it kind of felt like what's her name in Gilmore Girls? You know the ones.
Oh, the two?
Yeah, they were just kind of there for filler and they were dumb.
Who were just like
dumb, but
no, they were kind of dumb.
I mean, they were really dumb. Actually,
Naomi's not dumb. Naomi's at least a likable character.
She's not. Yeah,
but she's the same.
Are dumb.
But she's the same. She's the same thing where it's like I didn't really buy the way you just like instantly were there and her bestie. But
yeah, you just bumped into each other and now you're best friends.
But at the same time, like you're fine. I don't have any issue with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Tara.
Tara.
I want to put her in second tier. I think. Like I love
Tara more than I like Show Tara.
Really? I kind of feel the same way about both of them. I feel like her character's pretty, I don't know, pretty the same either way.
I feel like they try to give them too much. I feel the same way about Darcy and Tara. I like them better in the books than I do in the show because they give them too much. They try to give them drama that's not there.
Really? I thought their drama was really organic. Like I thought the way that they did that was really, really well done. Because
I don't mean season 2. I mean season 1.
I'm trying to think of what their drama was in season 1.
The season 2 drama is actually really good, especially with the whole parent thing.
Well, we were doing season 2 though.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like in general, as characters, I like them better in the comics than I do in the show. But in season 2, I think that they did their drama better.
What was their drama in season 1?
Season 1, they made it where Darcy like didn't want their relationship to be known. Or I mean, yeah, Darcy didn't want their relationship to be known. Was it Tara that didn't want it to be known?
I think
it was Darcy.
I don't think any of them.
No, they did. Yeah, we talked about it in the season 1 because in the comic they were like together and proud, and that was like what made Nick realize, or was it Nick?
Mm-hmm.
Realize that like it was okay and like the whole deal. Whereas in the show they made it where like Darcy like didn't want to hold her hand in front of people and like.
No, what are you talking about? I've watched that season like 16 times plus. I don't remember any of that.
How we talked about it? How literally like she kind of acted like coming out was like, I don't know, like they kind of alluded to it, which in season 2 they made make sense because of Darcy's mother.
But I don't remember that. Like I'm very confused by what you're talking about because what I remember from season 1 is that they were together. Like they pulled away like from holding hands when Elle walked in because they weren't out as a couple yet. But then
that's what I'm talking about in the comics.
But that wasn't Darcy. That was just kind of like they weren't out yet, so they weren't sure who they could trust yet. And then they realized it was just Elle, and they were like, "Okay, I guess we can tell you."
But in the comics, they were out from the get-go.
Well,
like,
yeah,
they were
but
loud and proud.
yeah, but
Whereas in the book, they kind of alluded to it being more Darcy because Tara gets this look on her face like she's mildly hurt by it.
Oh, did you say in
but
the
then
book?
In the show, they kind of made it seem like Darcy was the one hiding it a little bit more than Tara. But then in season 2, they show you Darcy's mother and you understand why.
No, it's the other way around because Tara is the one that tells Nick, yeah, being out can be really hard because when they come out, she gets a lot of bad comments and people start treating her differently. And then Darcy's kind of standing off to the side and gives her a look like, wait, what?
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember which one of them it was.
It was the other way around where Darcy was kind of apprehensive and she wasn't.
Then season 2 makes no sense.
No, it does because
it made way more sense for it to be Darcy because of the way her mom acts.
Well, no, it does because Darcy's been out as a lesbian at school for like years and Tara just came out. Everybody assumed she was straight. Then they started treating her differently. And Darcy even says in the second season, like, you said that I was confident. And that's when I was like, oh, I have to play this confident role for her because it gives her more of a like.
Oh, I see.
Like it makes her feel like she can be more confident because I am with her.
The whole thing with her mother makes it seem like she can't because she's not out at home.
Yeah. Well, to me, it's like she's out at school and proud and happy because that's where she can be.
Right,
where at home she's not and she can't be.
At home she's not. But in season 1, they kind of like they didn't do that in the comics.
In the
comics,
I think
there was no.
No, of course there wasn't.
There was
but
no them.
I also think that part of that was because they had she changed it so that Tara could be like, they're just now coming out, so Tara can tell Nick like we're not coming out, we're just like not hiding it anymore, and that's where Nick's like, oh, I can just like
you
do
can just
this,
do that.
but without having to announce it to people.
I get why they did it. I just didn't like that they kind of made it like a relationship drama plot point that it didn't need to be.
Right. But I kind of like it because I just feel like they made it less like we were talking about with Red, White, and Royal Blue. They added more depth to it and made it less just like baseline. We're happy couple. Like
I don't like when people put drama where it doesn't need to be unnecessarily.
Yeah. I get it. But I mean, if it had been like drama, like they made it like this big dramatic thing, but it was more of just like an underlying like feeling of unease from Tara because she didn't expect people to treat her differently. It wasn't like relationship drama.
It's more the way she acted, like where she kind of made her girlfriend feel like, oh, I'm not comfortable with you.
Yeah, I guess I kind of get that.
Was the whole part that
instead of just like talking about it with her, she kind of like dropped little.
The whole point with that couple is that they're like this great couple that is super confident in their relationship.
Okay. I get what you mean. So Tara's always dropping like kind of passive aggressive little hints instead of just saying like people are treating me weird and I don't like it.
That's not how they were. In the show, they were very much like if there was an issue, it was gonna be their issue, not something that they hid from each other.
Okay, yeah. No, yeah, okay, I do get that.
You get to the thing about Darcy's mother and Tara doesn't even know about it. So that's where it's like, wait a minute, I thought they shared everything. You know what I mean? Like it's more of a bombshell.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. I do think that would have been a little bit better.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is I didn't like that they threw the unnecessary drama in there when there's already drama coming up.
That's fair. All right, let's see.
I think me dislike the characters.
But again, I think also just Alice wanted to be able to add more to their storyline and like make them more fleshed out.
And I do get that. And plus they needed, because of the change in certain things, they did need Nick to be able to hear that from them and blah, 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 blah. But
yeah,
I don't know. I felt like it kind of changed their dynamic a little bit in a way that it shouldn't have, because then that kind of changes the bombshell of,
Well, and again, also for me, I think it's different because it's like we were saying with the movie before in the last video, I saw the first season of the show before I read the books.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is true.
I read the books before I saw the second season. So the second season to me is where like anything that's kind of changed will like stand out more to me and like bug me more. Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I read the comics way before I ever saw the show. So that's why like that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because that's not how they were presented in the comics. So it's like, okay, this is a little off, and I don't like, they're supposed to be solid because of this, and then this is supposed to happen. And
yeah. So now we can move on to Darcy, even though we've kind of talked about that too. But
yeah, I mean, I put her in season 2. I mean, season 2. She is in season 2.
You did?
I put her in 2.
Tier 2, me too. Right before Tara, actually.
Me too, actually, right before Tara.
Nice.
Yep. I feel bad for the whole mommy thing.
Yeah, me too. And I really, okay, I'm sorry. I always liked Darcy and I always thought that she was like fun and cute. But the moment she said everything has to be perfect for Tara, she's a princess.
I know.
I absolutely fell in
me?
love because that was the cutest shit I've ever heard in my life.
That was so cute.
That was
like,
my
are you
favorite.
kidding me? She's a princess.
I was like, oh. Yeah. And I like the whole I love you thing between them this season and the way that they did it.
Yeah, I do too.
Although it made me really sad. But like they made it make a lot of sense, and the way that they wrap it up at the end with the I love you back and forth was just so cute. And then Taylor Swift playing over top of it.
I know. Are you kidding me?
Oh
with
my
that?
God.
Like, yeah.
Yeah,
they definitely did a good job at that.
Yeah, they nailed that one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And also I liked seeing Kizzy, like, because like, you know, he's good at like the whole bubbly, like funny character thing, but to actually like see depth, you know, like in like a serious moment and like crying, and something that we needed to see because obviously Darcy is her name, can't just be like the always happy, fun, bubbly. That was well done and showed skill that, you know, wasn't there in the first season.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
I mean, not that the acting was bad. Not that their acting was bad in the first season.
No,
but
they did good, but they fleshed the characters out a lot more this season.
Yeah. Okay, next mom. Okay,
next mom.
In this season, I'm putting her right after Darcy.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Because like, she's good. She's still sweet, you know.
I don't understand why Charlie's mom isn't on
here
list.
Or dad.
Yeah, neither one of them. And
that's very weird. We can just talk about where we would put them. But yeah, I like she was still just like sweet Nick's mom and like still, you know, a great mom.
She's very supportive.
Yeah. So although I did get kind of annoyed that he was like, he is saying he's bi and it's bullshit, and instead of being like, hey, what the hell? Why are you being such a homophobic asshole? She was just like, please don't swear.
I know.
Like
seriously.
What? That's the problem you had with what he just said?
Right?
But like, I get it that she was just trying to like, you know, I don't know. That part kind of threw me a little bit, but she was still great. And I was just, after watching interviews where Joe Locke said over and over again that he wanted more scenes with Olivia Colman, I was super happy to see that.
Yeah.
All of the scenes of them with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if Alice did that because she saw him say that so many times.
I mean, probably because they really didn't need to be in that many scenes together.
They really didn't, but she was like, here you go. Like, you get as many as we can throw at you.
Yeah, as many as we can manage to make sense.
Exactly. All right, Elle?
Elle is going...
I think I'm going to put her right after James.
I'm going to put her after Imogen. No, you know what? I'm going to put her before Imogen.
Are you?
I like Elle.
I like Elle too. I just feel like she didn't have, I don't know. I mean, like she was good this season. Like, and like I liked the whole, obviously the stuff between her and Tao, but she also did a lot of things that kind of annoyed me this season.
I thought that they did a good job with Elle this season.
I think they did. I don't know. I feel like one criticism I have about the whole storyline is they got way too overdramatic about that first date. Like,
yep.
Like,
that is true.
The way that like he just clearly was trying to impress her and tried a little too hard, and she knows him well enough to know.
Yeah.
She knew that he hated that movie and she knew his criticisms about that movie, yet she acted so offended by them. And like,
that is true. She was kind of harsh towards him.
She was. And like, he said he liked her. It's what she had been waiting for. And he was imperfect on one date. And she was like, that's it. this hurts too much. Like, come on now. Like,
Yeah, that is true. She was kind of a drama queen about it.
yeah, it was silly. And like the whole thing where Tao kind of like goes off about Naomi and Felix being at the party made sense to his character.
Oh yeah.
But her being
Tao's kind of terrible.
he is. He's kind of
He's not, but he kind of is.
yeah. I mean, he definitely gets better throughout the season, which we'll get to.
Yeah,
but,
for sure. But
like her, that seemed really out of character for her, and it just kind of annoyed me. Like,
yeah, that is true. I wasn't a huge fan of Ellen Tao's storyline, and I guess it is more Elle than it is Tao. So you know what? I am gonna move her.
yeah. And
yeah, she's
sorry, Elle, for convincing my sister to put you down farther on the list, but
yeah, sorry, Elle. But
it's just the
I really
way
like you, but yeah, you're too much of a drama queen this time.
Yeah, and like the way that she kind of like I do think she should be like obviously, you know, making friends outside of whatever and going to art school and all of that. But I just think she was too like, and when Tao asked her out and she like paused and was like, yeah. Like, it was, like, so anticlimactic. Like,
I know. Yeah. Tao is going.
Okay. Putting him.
I'm going to put him in between Tara and Nick's mom.
Oh, I put him right between Darcy and Nick's mom.
Oh, yeah, we have Darcy and Tara switched.
Yeah, I think we do. Yeah, I really like, I mean, obviously he starts out kind of typical Tao, but I really like his development this season a lot.
They did so good with his development. Like, they made him so much less of like a bitch.
Yeah, they really did.
I mean,
they really did. Well, and like
they did a really good job with that.
And they did it well too. Like, he didn't just suddenly change his personality. He like slowly.
Exactly. It was like a slow, like, even like there's a couple times where Nick tried to talk to him friendly and he was just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want this.
Like, I like that.
Slowly but surely.
He let it down and let him. Well, yep. And yeah, because it's perfect because like you can see in the first episode, like, it's not like they're just buddies all of a sudden. Like, Nick tries to get him to open up to him and he like gives him attitude and like walks away and gets all like defensive.
This is not, we are not friends, my dude.
Yeah, he's like, just because you guys are like together now doesn't mean that we're suddenly best buddies. Like, that's not the way it works.
Yep. Exactly. And then slowly but surely he was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, and you can see in that first like real good conversation that they have, like at the end of it, or at the beginning of it, he starts out giving him attitude or like being like really short with him.
He's like very like resistant
and then,
to being friendly.
Yeah, and then like he sees Nick's face drop, be disappointed, and then he's like, okay, fine, we'll talk. Like,
yeah, exactly. You know? Like, you can see him very much like be nice to him against his will, and then finally,
and then as soon as Nick,
this guy isn't the worst.
And then as soon as Nick is like so genuinely sweet to him, he like, you see his face be like, oh my god, I need to walk away because I need to process it.
Like, oh no, I'm starting to like this guy. What do I do? Yeah. I'm supposed to hate him.
And yeah, I seriously thought they were going to kiss in that moment or something. Like,
yeah, on the bed. Oh my god. Seriously, like, I was waiting for Tao to be like, I'm in love with you too now.
Yeah, like, it's really funny.
It was a little too much.
And then with Nick's reaction to Tao and Charlie kissing, I'm almost like, I wouldn't be surprised if they were, next season they're a throuple.
Right, seriously. Fun fact, I just taught my boss what that word means the other day.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, and then later on he called me and him and the other secretary the best throuple around, and I was like, oh no.
Oh god, no, I'm so sorry. Trio is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
And the fact that you see Tao like process why he is the way he is through his mom and like talks with his mom is
my gosh, I know.
Cutest.
Like,
why is she not on this list?
Yeah, she's not on the list either. She's
okay, we
great.
need to remember to add those parents and Darcy's mom and Tara's mom. Like, we have to talk about the parents after this.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so Harry.
Did you say Harry?
Yeah. I'm putting him in.
He's going bottom tier.
I'm putting him in Your Energy Is Off.
I'm putting him in bottom tier.
Wow. Harsh, Tony.
I don't care. I don't care that he apologized.
I don't know. It's not about him apologizing. His apology was bullshit.
Yeah.
It's the way that you can tell that he genuinely wants to be supportive and he's trying. And the way that when his friends are like teasing Nick about the hickey on the Eiffel Tower, you can see that he's like not amused with them at all. And then when Nick shoots back what he says, he like laughs and looks proud of him. I think that was very cute. And it wasn't for his benefit in any way, because the whole like bullshit apology when he was trying to get into the party was one thing, but when he like stands up for Imogen and when he defends Nick and Charlie, none of that was for his benefit. None of that was like, there was no reason for him to do that.
Well, fine. But he's going at the end.
Yeah, I put him at the end too. But see, right, you can see him genuinely trying to be better in his character change.
I guess. I'm just, you know how unforgiving I am. I'm so
You're
mad at
super
Megan,
unforgiving. I know you are. But you've got to let people grow and change, Tony.
Megan has not grown and changed.
Also, what?
I said Megan has not grown and changed.
Oh, I'm not talking about her. No. I'm talking about Harry.
I know, let Harry grow and change.
But also, Isaac telling off Harry.
Oh my God, that was so good.
That was amazing.
It was so good.
And like his reaction, like the way that Cormac played that reaction to that too, was so good. Where he was like kind of annoyed and like amused by it, but also at the same time, you could tell he was like embarrassed. I think that was good. And and honestly, like besides him dropping the F slur, which I think is unforgivable and horrible.
Yeah.
And I hated him for, and it took so much away from him. I have still always had a soft spot for Harry. I don't know why. I think he's just like a kid who's trying way too hard to be funny for his friends and is jealous because Nick was his best friend. Now all of a sudden he's spending all of his time with Charlie, just like Tao in the first season. He's like Tao, but more obnoxious and with, slurs.
Yeah.
And a little bit of homophobia. But like, I feel like those are things that like can be unlearned with maturity, and I want to give him that. So I've always had a soft spot for him.
I suppose that's true. Yeah.
All right, now we can talk about the parents though, if you want.
Yeah. I am not super fond of Charlie's parents.
No. Well, okay, so here's the thing. The whole like hanky-panky thing, in the comics, I feel like that comes off way more like jokey from Charlie's dad. Like he's like messing with him. But in the show,
I guess I should say his mom, I'm not fond of. His dad is okay-ish.
His dad's fine. And I know that his dad is like also joking in the show, but in the show it comes off a bit more cold. Like it comes off a bit more like, I'm going to be joking with you, but also I'm serious. Like,
right, exactly.
And it's just like such a stark, like the way that Charlie tells them, like kind of like anticipation of like, guess what? He is my boyfriend. And they just kind of stare at him and are like, then automatically start with the criticisms. Like,
exactly. It's such a difference between the way Nick's mother acts.
Yeah, exactly.
And like the crazy thing with that is Charlie's family already knows he's gay.
Yeah, he's already out. It's not like it's a surprise that he has.
Whereas for Nick, he's not only telling his mom I have a boyfriend, but hey, surprise, I'm bisexual.
Yeah, like you didn't even know I liked boys.
So much of a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's so much of a bigger deal, yet she is so much more chill than Nick or Charlie's parents who already know. And honestly, if they didn't realize that was his boyfriend, they are dumb.
I know, right? Yeah, and the whole like stereotyping him, like that was obnoxious.
Yeah, like, he plays sports, so he can't be gay.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, well, yeah, also, yeah, your son, I'm sorry. I know that like Charlie does have a straight friend, Tao. And like Tao, I would argue, comes off way more stereotypical, like not straight than Nick.
Yeah.
But they don't mind him having Tao over for sleepovers and like hanging out, and they don't even question it just because Charlie says, no, he's straight. Like, but they are shocked that somebody else is stereotyping or somebody else stereotypical the other way. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
yeah, exactly.
They should be aware, like, that that's not the way it works.
Yes. That's exactly it.
But yeah, no, they're just really. And then, of course, the whole, like, it just makes me sad because you see him, like, kind of excited to tell them. And then, his excitement is just automatically shut down.
Yep.
It's really sad. So.
It is.
Although
his
I do
parents
like,
would definitely be in your energies off.
yeah, absolutely. Well, at least his mom.
Well, his mom,
His
his
dad-
dad, I feel like maybe could go in.
We're okay with people knowing.
We're okay with people knowing.
Well, and because you also like see him in the first season as being like really supportive and really like nice.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also
Yeah.
kind of like the good cop to her bad cop a little bit.
He is, yeah.
But well, and also I feel like also that moment wasn't going to be as sweet and endearing just for the fact that he's not coming out to his parents. They're already aware. So to them, it's just like, oh, you have a boyfriend? Okay, be careful. Don't do anything that you shouldn't be doing. Just like they would with a girlfriend, you know?
Right.
But I don't know. It's still was just way too cold for my liking.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is? Oh, Tao's mom.
Tao's mom, I would put in.
I would put her at the top of the second tier.
Yeah, I was debating between if she deserved the first tier, but I guess the top of the second tier.
Yeah,
she's amazing. She's
so
good.
adorable.
And like she is so good about like telling him when he's not, like when he's being dumb, I guess.
Yeah, but in the sweetest way.
Yeah, like she's so like good about it.
Yeah, and she's very like she wasn't like, he's like, I'll just be here, same old Tao, and she's like, same old Tao's not so bad. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
She didn't like give him any kind of like lecture or give him like a, oh no, you could this, you could this. She was just like, well, you're fine the way you are.
Yeah,
so
she's like, yeah, that's totally fine. Who cares if you're the same old kid, because everybody likes the same old kid.
Yeah, and the way that she like absolutely adores Elle, which is just so cute.
Yes, exactly. She's just so completely like supportive of everything.
Yeah, which I know it shouldn't be a big deal to any parents if their kid is attracted to like a trans woman, but there are parents that it would bother, you know, like.
Exactly.
And she's just like, oh, I don't care. She's awesome. I love her. That's great. You guys are happy. You guys are best friends. Good. You know, like the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, yeah. We totally forgot to talk about this, but the whole Tao's dad thing is.
Oh, yeah.
That's such a, like, which we can talk about now in the parent section because it is about his parent.
Yeah.
Okay. First off, that is so sad. But I love the way they made Tao handle it. As somebody, as you know, somebody who lost a dad. And the whole, like, first off, his dark humor where he's like, well, Elle's not dead too, so there's also that.
Right.
And when Nick says, like, I didn't know about your dad, and he's like, oh, don't be weird about it. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, holy shit, that's what every person who loses a parent wants to say to people. Please don't be weird about it.
Like, just be weird about it.
Just treat me like a person. Treat me like normal, please. Yeah.
I remember years ago, somebody that I went to school with, when they heard my name, they were talking directly to me and said, oh, you're one of those girls that lost their dad.
Oh.
Because we were known as the 5 sisters that lost their dad.
Ew.
And I remember, and this was like probably 4 years later, and I remember thinking, oh God, we've been known as that for all this time. And it was jarring to me that like that was like what we were.
Yeah, like that's like a defining part of your personality. Well, like, and it is a defining part of your personality to you.
Right.
But it shouldn't be to other people. It shouldn't be
to everybody else. Exactly.
It's a personal thing, and like it's not like it doesn't, it defines your inner personality, but it doesn't define you to other people. Like, that's weird.
Exactly. Yeah, and so it was not my favorite moment to realize that that's how this person saw me.
Yeah, that's really, really annoying. And like, yeah, because there were criticisms that I saw like online and stuff like, okay, how come Tao's never like brought this up before? How come he's never talked about his dad before? Because it was only a couple years ago or only a few years ago. Because it's not like once you lose a parent, you start like introducing yourself that way, or like just like,
you're not like, hi, nice to meet you, my dad's dead.
Yeah, exactly. Like if it gets brought up in conversation, you talk about it. If it doesn't, you're not just gonna announce it out of nowhere. There's no reason.
Exactly. You don't just tell everybody, because then people start to treat you different.
Yeah. Well, and his friends do know that about him. Charlie was friends with him at the time, I think,
Right,
or at least right
exactly.
after. But
No, I mean, for sure he had to have been because they were friends when they were way younger. They showed the clip of it.
well, he said year 7, which you could be like 12 or 13.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. That is true.
Or no, actually, year 7. No, you're right, because year 7 over there would be 6th grade.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so yeah, he was friends with Charlie at the time. Exactly.
Yeah,
so like his
exactly.
friends know about it, but like Nick has not been his friend. Like he'd have no reason to know about it.
Right.
So I really liked the way that they played that whole dad thing because it makes so much sense to his character. It explains so much. And the way that he is and the way that he talks about it, they made very realistic.
Yes.
We could say something about Tara's mom, but she just kind of pops in and is like, hey, no sleepovers tonight. Bye. So.
Yeah, Tara's mom doesn't really have a lot of like
no screen time.
Yeah, she's not really.
I mean,
she's just kind of a blip.
She seems fine.
Yeah, I mean,
she's clearly supporting of her daughter, and like,
yeah, I mean, basically, she would just be like middle tier, just because we have no opinion on her at the moment.
Yeah, they don't really. I wonder if they're going to show her more next season, or you know, it'd be an interesting way to take it. No, because they don't. I don't know. They don't do it in the books, but it would be interesting if like somehow Darcy came to like stay with them.
Oh yeah,
but I don't think they will.
No, probably not. That would be weird.
Yeah. I just want her out of that house.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, so on
Which brings us to Darcy's mom.
Yeah.
She is terrible.
She is truly terrible.
She is just awful. She's not. And like, I'm sorry, but if my teenager ran away,
you'd be freaking out and you had no idea where she
was. Hunting their ass down.
Yeah, me too. And the way that like Tara says, we haven't seen her, do you know if she's okay? And she's just like, how would I know? Like, how would you be
she's
okay
just so
with not knowing?
of her kid? And like, you tell her that she looks like a lesbian in her outfit? Really?
Yeah. Like, and that her friends are gonna make fun of her?
Yeah. Like, wow.
Yeah.
It just, she's not good. She's bottom tier. She is not good.
And the way that she also says, get out of my house after like 2 minutes about like of arguing about a suit.
Yeah. Like, yeah, like seriously, get out of my house, really?
And then she pulls the whole Darcy was over dramatic about the suit instead of her being over dramatic about it.
Yeah, exactly. She's so like, she's horrible to her and then acts like somehow she was being dramatic about it. Like, she is such a narcissist. Yeah. It is so bad.
100%. And that just like,
not a fan.
And it's just like, and she says my parents though. So where is her dad? What is her dad
where's
like?
Her dad?
Is her dad where she gets her humanity from, or like?
Right, and like, is her dad in the house? Are they,
Are they divorced? And I'm sure that they'll dive more into that next season too. But
oh yeah, I think so.
Because obviously Darcy's storyline with that was not wrapped up at all.
No, definitely not. That was very, very unfinished.
Okay, so did we have any other parents or anything to talk about?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so I want to know what your favorite parts of the season were.
My favorite part of the season, probably,
or like even just like your favorite things about it, not necessarily like specific parts if you can't.
Well, honestly, my favorite part was how they handled the eating disorder stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, I thought that the way they did, and the Isaac storyline. Those were two of my favorite parts of that entire thing, because I feel like they did a really good job at like giving clues and like hinting in the beginning, and then like bringing it up and like fully. I'm really looking forward to Nick to season 3 and how they're going to do that, because the way Nick is like, I don't know how, I don't know how to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very like real, you know what I mean? Like, I've watched my kids have their friends be going through shit and come to me and say, I'm a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know how to handle this.
I'm really looking forward to which you know it's going to be in there, the Nick's mom line, the love can't cure mental illness.
Yes.
I love that line, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Yeah,
I like
because it's
great. It's like such a like strong line.
yeah.
Um,
Well, and it's very real the way they show that like teenagers can't cure each other's problems.
no, yeah, exactly. You need a professional.
Exactly.
Well, and like I like that. I also like that like when they're talking about it, right? Nick is never like you need to stop doing that, or like you need to eat, or
No.
like he never like shoves things on him. He's
Exactly.
just like, listen, I don't understand why this helps you, or like why you feel like you need to do this, but I'm here for you. You know what I mean? Just like he's like there.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like
Yeah.
pushing him to be like, get better, stop doing this, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, I really like the way they handle it.
Yeah, I like it too. And I really like the way that like they kind of do the whole, you know, the whole I love you thing is like, you know what scene that's gonna be. Like you know, you remember the scene from the books. There's no way they're changing that. It's too iconic from the
It's
books.
iconic.
Yeah, like
it's iconic. They have to do it.
But I love the slow buildup of it because I actually just made a TikTok about that too. But like the whole when Charlie's playing with Nellie at the park, and then you see him come back, and the way Nick is just like looking at him, and you see it like kind of clicking in his head, and then he's like, oh, and just like, you know, it was like nothing. And then you see like the soft launch of like, I think Nellie loves him.
Uh-huh.
And then you see him like when he's talking to him in like after he faints or whatever, and he's like, and then a long pause, and he's like, I really care about you. You know? And then the ending, like it's just all like so like they have it like built up. It's not like he's just like it's just like a random declaration, you know?
Right.
And I like that a lot. And he's not even going to be the one, well, no spoilers if you haven't read the book, but he's not even going to be the one to say it first. Like,
exactly. I know.
So you see like all this build up from him, and then just like he's not even the one to do it.
Not even him.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? I've been building up to this. Haven't you been watching?
Exactly. Which I hope they do also, because that's cute.
Yeah, it is.
Well, and because you can see that Charlie knows. Like
yeah,
he can
like,
see what's like what he's doing. Like when the whole like
right, exactly.
Like,
he's like, okay, I'll put you out of your misery.
Yeah, exactly. Like you see the whole like I think Nellie loves him, and then you see like the rainbows behind him. Like you can tell that he's also like, wait, does he mean Nellie? I don't think he means Nellie. Like,
right,
which is cute. That was probably my favorite, like just kind of like side aspect of the season.
How about least favorite?
Like as a whole. Okay, so that's hard because like least favorite as in like I thought that was the stupidest and least well done, or least favorite as in the most tragic, traumatic, and I hate it.
Just didn't like it because like the most tragic, traumatic is probably my favorite.
I don't know. I think that the Nick's dad thing was pretty upsetting.
My least favorite was the teachers, as we know already.
Okay, so yeah, the most like not well done thing. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Yeah, that one.
Like I wish that it wasn't there.
Yeah, that one definitely.
Yeah, the teachers were just trash.
And no, the thing is like not even I wish it wasn't there. Just I wish it was more well done.
Done properly.
Yeah, like I want it there. I really wanted it there because I love it from the books.
I know.
But it
I'm
wasn't.
like, I'm accepting it that it's there and that it's a thing that's happening. I just hope that like they do better. Like somebody tells this dude, like, act right.
Yeah. And I'm telling what do they say, or what does he say to them when he puts them in the thing, when he puts them in the isolation room?
Fix up, man.
That's what you want to say to the actor.
Yes, exactly. Because Jesus.
I don't want to see it cut, but that's the one that was the least needed.
Yeah.
Gave me the least amount of like
I don't
feelings.
think any storyline should be cut. They're all very
That's what I'm saying. That's the one that gives me the least amount of like feelings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I definitely feel you there.
Like literally when I'll do like watch backs, especially since I have to watch the show back so often to do like edits and stuff, I like skip over most of their parts. I just like fast forward through.
I don't blame you.
Because it just doesn't
it's not
interest me.
good.
Yeah, it's just not that much for me. Oh, and one more thing that I loved was watching Elle stare at that painting in the museum for a little while and then seeing that it was her inspiration for the painting that she did.
Yeah.
For her art thing. That was pretty cute. That was a good
Yeah, that was.
Because when you first see that episode, you're like, why is she just staring lovingly at that painting like for so long?
Mm-hmm.
And then that episode happens, and you're like, oh, she was inspired.
All right. Well, personally, I think that season 2 was really good. I think that they did a lot of the characters a lot of justice. They really fleshed out a lot of the storylines, and I'm excited about season 3.
Me too. And see, I think that personally, I liked season 2 better than I liked season 1, which says a lot because I loved season 1. But I just liked seeing a more like mature aspect to it, and more like, because they felt more realistic in this season.
Yes.
Like they felt, and you could tell that they were like more comfortable with their characters, and
yes,
that they embodied their characters a little bit more even, which is crazy because I thought the acting was so good in season 1. And then they just went like above and beyond that in the second season. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And again, excited to season 3. And God, if they keep getting better, I don't even know how much better they could get.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for Heartstopper season 2 tier list.
Thanks for listening to our long rambling.
Yeah.
I think this is more like a podcast.
I know, seriously. We should have a podcast.
I would like to have a podcast. We could have a podcast.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time a show comes out that we want to do a tier list for.
And let us know if you want us to do a podcast.
Yeah, let us know if you want to do a podcast and what the hell we talk about. All right.
All right.
Bye, everybody.